For millennia, humanity has viewed water as fundamental, a life-giving substance, a universal solvent. But what if water is more than simple H2O? An intriguing, often contentious, line of inquiry suggests water possesses a capacity to record and retain information, a concept known as water memory. This idea challenges conventional scientific understanding, pushing the boundaries of what we believe possible about the most ubiquitous element on Earth. We begin our investigation by examining the origins of this compelling, yet deeply debated, theory and its profound implications across cultures and sciences. Even within conventional science, water exhibits highly unusual properties critical for life. Its high specific heat capacity stabilizes global temperatures, and its density anomaly, ice floats, prevents oceans from freezing solid. These are not minor details, they are fundamental to Earth's habitability. However, the idea of water memory goes further, suggesting an active, dynamic response to its environment. Dr. Mei-Wan Ho, a prominent biophysicist, highlighted water's role in biological coherence, prompting questions about how water mediates cellular communication and energy transfer beyond simple chemical reactions. The modern concept of water's potential to store information gained significant public attention through the work of Japanese researcher Dr. Masaru Emoto. Starting in the late 1990s, Emoto conducted experiments involving exposing water samples to different words, music, or intentions, then freezing and photographing the resulting ice crystals. His published work, particularly The Hidden Messages in Water, showcased dramatic visual differences, claiming that positive stimuli produced aesthetically pleasing crystals, while negative stimuli resulted in distorted or incomplete formations. This resonated with a global audience seeking deeper connections to nature. Dr. Emoto's methodology, as described in his publications, involved taking water from various sources, including tap water, spring water, and distilled water. He would then divide these samples and expose them to specific influences. One sample might be labeled love and gratitude, another hate. Others listened to classical music or heavy metal. After exposure, small drops were frozen at a precise temperature in a freezer and then observed under a dark-field microscope equipped with a camera to capture the intricate hexagonal patterns that formed or failed to form. These images formed the cornerstone of his widely publicized claims. The images presented by Emoto were strikingly beautiful and compelling. Water exposed to phrases like thank you or classical music allegedly produced symmetrical, vibrant, six-sided crystals. In stark contrast, water exposed to negative words like you fool or aggressive music reportedly formed incomplete, asymmetrical, or chaotic structures. These visual distinctions became powerful anecdotal evidence for the idea that water could not only remember but also visually reflect the energetic imprint of its environment. For many, these photographs offered undeniable proof of water's profound responsiveness. Dr. Emoto's work garnered immense popular appeal, selling millions of books worldwide and inspiring countless individuals. His theories resonated with those seeking a more spiritual or holistic view of the natural world, suggesting a tangible link between consciousness and physical reality. Workshops and documentaries further amplified his message, fostering a belief that positive thoughts could positively influence water, and by extension, our bodies, which are largely composed of water. This widespread acceptance demonstrated a deep human desire for connection and meaning within the elements. Despite its popular appeal, Emoto's research faced substantial criticism from the mainstream scientific community. Critics argued that his experiments lacked proper scientific controls, such as blinding the observers to the nature of the water samples or providing a clear, reproducible protocol. Key concerns, raised by researchers like Dr. Harriet Hall, included the subjective selection of best crystals for photography, leading to accusations of confirmation bias. The scientific method demands rigorous controls to eliminate observer bias and ensure results are objectively verifiable. A cornerstone of scientific validity is reproducibility, the ability for other researchers to independently replicate an experiment and achieve similar results. According to reports from various scientific bodies, attempts to replicate Emoto's findings under rigorous, double-blind conditions have generally failed to yield the same dramatic, consistent crystal formations. This lack of independent verification remains a primary reason why Emoto's water memory theory, while compelling to some, has not been embraced as conventional science. The scientific method demands evidence that can withstand objective scrutiny, a standard Emoto's work struggled to meet. Even with the controversy surrounding Emoto, the broader idea of water as an information storage medium predates his work and continues to be explored by some researchers. One theoretical framework, championed by figures like Dr. Jacques Benveniste in the 1980s, suggests that water molecules could form stable, ordered structures, often called clathrates or clusters, that could theoretically imprint or memorize the vibrational frequencies of substances previously dissolved in them. These hypothetical structures, proponents argue, could persist even after the original substance is diluted out. The concept of clathrate hydrates is central to some water memory theories. These are crystalline solid compounds where a host lattice of water molecules traps guest molecules within its cavities. While recognized in chemistry for trapping gases, some unconventional theories extend this to suggest that water's hydrogen bond network could arrange itself into quasi-stable, intricate geometric patterns. These patterns, it's hypothesized, might act like a template, retaining information about past interactions. This view postulates a structural memory, distinct from chemical composition, that could influence how water interacts with its environment. Further speculative theories venture into quantum mechanics. Some physicists, like Dr. Emilio Del Giudice and Giuliano Preparata, suggested that water could exist in a coherent state, where molecules vibrate in unison over macroscopic distances, forming domains that can store and transmit electromagnetic information. This quantum coherence, they proposed, might be responsible for water's memory properties. However, this remains a highly theoretical area, and direct experimental evidence verifying such macroscopic quantum coherence in liquid water at biological temperatures is largely absent or highly contested within mainstream physics. The idea of water memory finds a strong conceptual parallel in homeopathy, an alternative medicine system dating back to the late 18th century. Homeopathic remedies are prepared by successive dilutions of a substance, often to the point where no original molecules remain. Proponents assert that the water retains a memory or energetic imprint of the original substance, which then confers therapeutic effects. This reliance on water's supposed informational capacity directly clashes with conventional pharmacology, which requires a measurable concentration of active ingredients for efficacy. Numerous scientific reviews and meta-analyses, including those conducted by the Australian National Health and Medical Research Council and the UK House of Commons Science and Technology Committee, have concluded that there is no reliable evidence that homeopathy is effective for any health condition. These bodies typically attribute any perceived benefits to the placebo effect rather than active ingredients or water memory. The scientific consensus overwhelmingly rejects the claims of water memory in the context of homeopathy due to lack of plausible mechanism and clinical efficacy beyond placebo. This highlights a fundamental disagreement on the nature of evidence. While modern science debates the existence of water memory, ancient civilizations harbored profound reverence for water, often attributing it with spiritual or conscious properties. This deeply ingrained respect manifested in widespread water cults or traditions. These cultures intuitively understood water not merely as a resource, but as a living entity capable of purification, healing, and even holding sacred knowledge. The practices of these cults, thousands of years old, resonate with the modern, albeit controversial, theories of water's informational capacity, suggesting an enduring human intuition. In ancient Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization, water was central to life and myth. The Tigris and Euphrates rivers were seen as divine, the source of agricultural abundance and cosmic order. The god Enki, also known as Ea, was the deity of water, wisdom, and creation. He was believed to reside in the Abzu, the primordial sweetwater ocean beneath the earth. Rituals involving water libations were common, symbolizing purification and the invocation of divine blessings. This reflects a belief in water carrying not just life, but divine information and influence. The Nile River, in ancient Egypt, was considered divine, the very source of all life and prosperity. The annual flooding of the Nile was not just an agricultural event, but a sacred communion with the deity, happy, revered for fertility and abundance. Egyptians established a complex cult of the Nile, performing elaborate rituals, including offerings and prayers to the river. They believed it held not just sustenance, but also a spiritual essence that could be influenced and would, in turn, influence their lives and the fate of their harvests. This is a profound example of water's perceived conscious, active role. Across Celtic lands, sacred wells and springs were revered as portals to the otherworld, imbued with healing powers and the ability to grant wishes. These sites were often dedicated to goddesses like Brigid, who embodies healing, poetry, and smithcraft. People would leave offerings, known as cluties, rags tied to trees, or coins, believing the water itself possessed a sentient quality that could receive their intentions and prayers. Historians and archaeologists have uncovered numerous artifacts at these sites, suggesting centuries of ritualistic reverence for these specific water sources and their perceived innate power and memory. The Romans, renowned for their sophisticated aqueducts and public baths, also developed cults around thermal springs and healing waters. Places like Bath in England, known as Aquae Sulis, were not just sites for hygiene, but temples to deities like Sulis Minerva, where people sought cures for ailments. Inscriptions found at these sites indicate that people believed the mineral-rich waters held a conscious spirit that could respond to prayers and bestow healing. This blend of practical application and spiritual devotion highlights a perception of water as an active, intelligent medium, capable of understanding human pleas. In Hinduism, rivers, particularly the Ganges, are considered sacred goddesses, holding immense spiritual significance. Devotees believe that bathing in the Ganges can cleanse sins and lead to moksha, liberation from the cycle of rebirth. Pilgrims carry Ganges water home, believing it retains its purifying and sacred properties. This belief extends beyond mere symbolism; it implies the water itself is imbued with divine energy and memory, a consciousness that can transmit spiritual benefits across distances and through time, influencing the spiritual state of individuals. This is a profound example of water as an informational and transformative medium. In Japan's indigenous Shinto religion, water, particularly pure mountain spring water, plays a crucial role in purification rituals known as misogi or temazu. Before entering a shrine, worshippers cleanse their hands and mouth with water, believing it purifies not just the body but also the spirit, washing away negative energies or impurities. This practice reflects a deep cultural understanding of water as a medium for spiritual cleansing and renewal, capable of receiving and neutralizing negative influences, thereby restoring balance. It highlights an intuitive grasp of water's potential to hold or shed energetic information. Across Mesoamerican civilizations, from the Maya to the Aztec, water and rain deities held paramount importance. Chac for the Maya and Tlaloc for the Aztec were revered as powerful gods controlling life-giving rains and destructive floods. Elaborate rituals, including human sacrifices, were performed to appease these deities and ensure bountiful harvests. Sacred cenotes, natural sinkholes filled with water, were considered portals to the underworld and sites of offerings. These practices demonstrate a belief in water's conscious power to both sustain and punish, influenced by human actions and intentions. In many indigenous African spiritual traditions, water bodies, rivers, lakes, oceans, are inhabited by powerful spirits or deities. These spirits are believed to be guardians of life, sources of healing, and mediators between the human and spirit worlds. Rituals often involve offerings made at riverbanks or lochshores, prayers for fertility, protection, or guidance. The Mami Wata tradition, prevalent in West and Central Africa, venerates a pantheon of water spirits associated with wealth, beauty, and healing. These beliefs reflect a profound recognition of water as a conscious, sentient force intricately linked to human destiny and well-being. From the Amazonian indigenous tribes honoring river spirits to ancient Greek oracle sites built over sacred springs, the veneration of water is a near-universal human phenomenon. Across diverse cultures and continents, water has been perceived as a conscious entity, a sacred medium for communication with the divine, healing, and prophecy. This consistent pattern of belief, spanning millennia, suggests a deep-seated intuition about water's extraordinary qualities that transcend its simple chemical composition. This widespread reverence fuels the questions raised by modern water memory theories and our persistent fascination. When we compare the ancient understanding of water with modern claims of water memory and crystal formation, intriguing parallels emerge. Ancient water cults treated water as an intelligent, responsive entity, capable of carrying blessings or curses, healing or harm. Modern proponents of water memory suggest water can record information, whether through structural changes or energetic imprints. While the mechanisms proposed differ vastly, spiritual versus molecular, the underlying assertion is similar: water is an active participant in reality, not merely a passive substance. This invites us to consider if ancient intuition harbored a hidden truth. The primary challenge in bridging these two perspectives lies in scientific evidence. While ancient traditions are rich in anecdotal accounts and profound cultural significance, they do not offer empirical proof in the modern sense. Similarly, modern theories of water memory, despite their attempts at scientific framing, often struggle with reproducibility and rigorous validation within established scientific paradigms. The gap between intuitive belief and verifiable data remains wide, yet the persistence of the concept suggests something fundamental about our human experience and interaction with water across time. Regardless of its disputed memory, water's established properties are undeniably extraordinary and essential for life. Its capacity as a universal solvent, its high specific heat capacity, and its unusual density anomaly, ice floats, are all crucial for life on Earth. These properties allow for complex biochemical reactions, moderate global temperatures, and sustain aquatic ecosystems. Even if water doesn't consciously remember, its unique physical and chemical attributes make it an essential, active participant in every biological process, shaping life in ways we are still fully comprehending. It's truly a marvel. The discourse around water memory often intersects with discussions on consciousness and human intention. If water can store information, what role might human thoughts or emotions play? Proponents like Emoto suggested that conscious intention could directly influence water's structure. While this idea lacks mainstream scientific backing, it taps into a deeper philosophical question about the interaction between mind and matter, and whether our internal states can subtly affect the physical world around us. This concept resonates strongly with many ancient spiritual traditions, linking human consciousness to natural elements. If water truly possesses a form of memory or consciousness, it profoundly alters our ethical relationship with it. Treating water as a living, receptive entity, rather than an inert commodity, would necessitate a shift in how we manage and utilize this vital resource. This perspective could deepen our understanding of environmental stewardship, encouraging greater respect for water sources and a more mindful approach to pollution. Ancient water cults, in their reverence, perhaps already embodied this ethical stance, long before modern scientific inquiry began probing water's potential secrets and complexities. Another concept related to water's potential for information storage is structured water, sometimes referred to as easy water or exclusion zone water, popularized by Dr. Gerald Pollack. Pollack's research suggests that water forms a distinct, highly ordered, hexagonal layered structure near hydrophilic surfaces, acting as a fourth phase of water, beyond solid, liquid, and gas. This easy water is believed to have a negative electrical charge and can store energy, potentially playing a crucial role in biological processes. While more accepted than Emoto's work, it still faces ongoing scientific debate regarding its full implications and precise mechanism. Some theories propose that water is highly sensitive to electromagnetic frequencies, suggesting it can capture and retain these energy patterns. Researchers like Nobel laureate Luc Montagnier, while highly controversial in his later work, claimed that highly diluted DNA solutions could emit electromagnetic signals, suggesting water might remember the original DNA structure. Mainstream science largely attributes such claims to experimental error or methodological flaws. However, the idea persists within some fringe scientific communities that water's molecular arrangements could be influenced by subtle energy fields, storing information energetically. Beyond any disputed memory, water's established role in Earth's geological and atmospheric systems is a constant marvel. It shapes landscapes through erosion, drives weather patterns through evaporation and condensation, and cycles vital nutrients. The sheer volume of water on our planet and its continuous transformations mean that every drop has been part of countless processes, interacting with myriad substances and energies. This macroscopic memory, the history embedded in its journey, is indisputable, fostering a profound appreciation for water as a dynamic, ever-changing, and indispensable element. From a philosophical standpoint, the concept of water memory invites us to reconsider the very definition of consciousness and information. If consciousness is not limited to biological brains, could elements like water possess a rudimentary form of awareness or responsiveness? This pushes beyond anthropocentric views, suggesting a deeper, interconnected web of existence where all matter might hold an intrinsic informational capacity. While highly speculative, it encourages a more profound respect for the natural world, echoing the holistic worldviews of many ancient water cults. Despite the skepticism surrounding water memory, some researchers continue to explore the intricate properties of water at the quantum and molecular levels. Advancements in spectroscopy, ultra-fast imaging, and computational modeling offer new tools to investigate water's structural dynamics and energetic interactions with unprecedented precision. While the concept of water memory may remain outside mainstream science for now, continued rigorous investigation into water's fundamental nature could reveal surprising insights, perhaps uncovering new ways water stores or transmits information, even if not in the exact way Emoto or Benvenisti proposed. The human quest to understand water is a reflection of our deeper desire to comprehend the universe and our place within it. Whether it's through the lens of ancient spiritual reverence or modern scientific inquiry, water continually presents itself as a substance of profound mystery and importance. The debates around water crystals and information storage serve to highlight how much we still have to learn about even the most common elements. This ongoing investigation reminds us of the endless frontiers of discovery, both within and outside the realm of established science. Regardless of whether water possesses a literal memory, the human act of imbuing it with intention through prayer, blessings, or even just gratitude holds significant psychological and cultural power. For ancient water cults, these acts were fundamental, fostering connection and meaning. Even in modern contexts, mindful interaction with water can promote well-being and a sense of connection to nature. This symbolic power, recognized across millennia, speaks to water's capacity as a canvas for human consciousness, even if its intrinsic memory remains scientifically elusive. The ritual itself holds transformative power. Some theorists extend the concept of water memory to include a collective consciousness, suggesting that water bodies, like oceans, might act as vast repositories of information or energy from all life forms and events they've encountered. This idea posits a global, interconnected water network that subtly influences planetary consciousness. While entirely theoretical and lacking empirical data, it aligns with ancient spiritual notions of a universal life force embodied in water. It prompts us to consider the profound implications if water truly functions as a planetary data network, shaping life and consciousness. The observer effect, a concept from quantum physics where the act of observation influences the observed reality, is sometimes invoked in discussions about water memory. While quantum mechanics primarily applies to subatomic particles, proponents suggest that conscious observation or intention might subtly influence water's molecular arrangements or crystal formations. Critics firmly assert this is a misapplication of quantum theory, as macroscopic systems like water are not expected to show such effects. This debate highlights the tension between objective scientific measurement and subjective human experience when studying nature. Another facet of water's potential information storage lies in its unique vibrational and resonant frequencies. Water molecules can absorb and emit specific frequencies of electromagnetic energy, and some theories propose that these subtle energetic imprints could persist and carry information, even without changes to chemical composition. Researchers are exploring how different frequencies might influence water's structure and behavior at a nanoscale. However, translating these subtle energetic interactions into a demonstrable memory that influences macroscopic properties remains a significant hurdle for scientific validation and reproducibility. The question of water's potential consciousness or memory takes on profound significance when considering the origin of life itself. Water was the medium in which the first biochemical reactions occurred, where complex molecules self-assembled. If water possesses an inherent capacity to organize or remember information, it could have played a far more active, formative role in abiogenesis than currently understood. This would shift our perspective from water as a passive solvent to an active participant, potentially guiding the very emergence of life from non-living matter. It's an ultimate question of water's fundamental intelligence. The dialogue between indigenous wisdom, which often views water as sentient, and modern science, which demands empirical proof, is crucial. While their methodologies differ, both seek to understand water's fundamental nature. The reverence shown by ancient water cults reflects a deep experiential knowledge that may contain truths not yet accessible by scientific instruments. Engaging with these diverse perspectives can enrich our understanding, perhaps opening new avenues for scientific inquiry that move beyond reductionist views, acknowledging the intricate relationship between water, life, and consciousness in a holistic way. Ultimately, the question of whether water holds a memory or consciousness remains an enduring mystery, sitting at the intersection of science, spirituality, and philosophy. What is clear is humanity's profound, often spiritual, connection to water throughout history, reflected in ancient cults and rituals. The modern fascination, despite its controversies, reflects a deep-seated desire to understand the fundamental building blocks of life. Perhaps the true hidden message in water is not just about its molecular structure, but about our own capacity for wonder and our persistent quest for meaning in the world. Regardless of whether we classify water as conscious, its sheer importance demands our utmost respect and protection. From the smallest droplet to the vast oceans, water is a precious, finite resource sustaining all known life. The debates around water memory, crystals, and ancient cults, while varied in their conclusions, collectively underscore one undeniable truth: our relationship with water is fundamental. As we move forward, understanding and valuing water, in all its known and potential mysterious capacities, will be critical for the future of humanity and the planet.